Okay, I replied as he immediately stood, tossed a few bills on the table, and left wordlessly. What in the hell just happened? I wondered aloud as the waiter finally returned with the heaping pile of fried deliciousness that made up the appetizer platter we'd settled upon ordering. Is everything okay, miss? The waiter asked, looking just as puzzled as I felt. Can you box this all up for me? And bring the check? No problem, miss. Anything else I can get you? That's all, I replied, shaking my head as I pulled out my cell phone to check the time before I sent a text. Apps were all boxed, and the bill was paid. Joe ended up leaving me with a couple of extra coins than necessary to cover the bill and tip. I pocketed that money as hazard pay, then rocketed straight from the restaurant to the very comfortable chaise that was stationed in the woman cave of my dearest friend, Corinne. She was the one I'd texted before I left the family-friendly casual dating restaurant to which Joe had invited me. A restaurant that gave me pause because both of us had previously expressed disdain for these types of restaurants pretty early on in our conversations. But I went along with the flow because apparently that's what this new, I'm desperate for steady, warm dick and maybe companionship as well, me was into. New Kai acquiesced without question. I was starting not to like New Kai very much. As old Kai, I had been doing pretty well for myself. This new bitch got stood up for seemingly no good reason. By the time I made it to Corinne's house, her husband Wes and daughter Penelope were nowhere to be found. I'm sure they were just on the other side of this massive estate that they had the nerve to call a single-family home. But I was thankful to not have to put on a facade of happiness in their presence. I had gone through all 7 stages of grief in the 15-minute car ride from the restaurant to Corinne's, and was on my 2nd cycle of them, currently stewing in the anger stage. One look in my face when she opened the door sent Corinne into super best friend mode, ushering me straight into the aforementioned woman cave, pouring a very large glass of my favorite sparkling wine, and remaining completely silent until I began speaking. Was this shit always this hard, Co? Is there something wrong with me? I used to be good at dating. When I did date during the Carter administration, right? I'm a catch, right? Unfortunately. Hell no, hell yes, undoubtedly. Corinne answered so quickly I'd forgotten which questions I'd ask in which order. What happened, Kai? This was the guy you'd been telling me about. From the dating site? With the good vibes. And the I give good dick cut of his jib from photographs? I nodded. Yeah, Joe, who was completely different from the man in the text. So, unless this was an elaborate ruse of a catfish, I don't know what the hell happened. His reception when I arrived, a few minutes later than our agreed-upon time, but there was an accident on Route 83 that derailed me a bit, was a little chilly. I'd texted him to let him know about the accident, though, and he replied like everything was all good. So I don't know what happened between that exchange and my eventual arrival that completely turned him off me. But, yeah. And are you going to try and follow up and see what happened? Or, Corinne started before I cut her off. Abso-the-fuck-lutely not. Whatever he has going on is of no concern to me. Fully seated in my anger, I sat back taking a large sip of wine before sighing. This whole thing is stupid. Nothing is wrong with my life as is. So why, oh my, is my brain hell-bent on trying to make me believe that something is lacking? I should be able to logic my way out of this. Go ahead, say something. I can see you're holding back. I prompted Corinne. She shook her head. Nope, we're not there yet. We're still in the letting you get this exasperation off portion of this convo, chick. I'd opened my mouth to go off yet again when my phone sounded off. I looked down to see it was Joe calling me. Oh, this motherfucker has got to be kidding me. I groused while sending him to voicemail swiftly. Now you've got something to say? Fuck off. I tossed my phone onto the table in front of my chase and slammed my now empty glass down next to it. Corinne got up and eased the glass away from me, murmuring under her breath about me having reached my limit on the wine. When the phone beeped again to indicate that Joe had indeed left a voicemail, Corinne looked at me, eyes communicating.